again, for those of you who just popped in here, welcome from wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, maybe to some of you. We are here to discuss BASIS International School Nanjing. And we've got a really good lineup of people, of speakers for you guys today. First of all, and by the way, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Layla. I'm the Director of Recruitment for BASIS International Schools. You may speak with me at some point or someone from my team. Natalie is here joining us today. You may speak with her at some point if you interview with us. And again, we're so happy to have you. So here is the lineup of wonderful panelists and speakers that we have for you guys today. Dr. Jamie Davis, Sean Crelly, Kaori Zhu, Tristan Heckerl, Emma Gal, myself, and then Natalie is one of the recruiters on our team. What we're going to talk about today is a little bit, a lot of it actually, about BASIS International School Nanjing, the students, the people, the support, what it's like to live in Nanjing. We're also going to talk about the BASIS International School Network, because when you come on board with BASIS, you're not just a teacher with that particular school. Of course you are, but you're also part of a wider network. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll also talk about benefits, visa requirements, and then at the end, we'll do a Q&A. And if a question pops up throughout the webinar, feel free to put it in the Q&A. If you see at the bottom of the screen, it'll say Q&A, type your question. We'll wait for them all to come in, and then at the end, we'll go through and answer your questions that you had. Without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Dr. Jamie Davis. He is the head of school of BASIS International School Nanjing. He's lived in Nanjing for a while as well, loves the city, and I'm excited for him to tell you a little bit more about his school. Take it away, Jamie.
Well, I would say good morning, but I've gotten very practiced at saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever this finds you. You are hearing from us here in Nanjing. I'm really proud to be here with some of the members of the team I share here in Nanjing. We are a really special place. We are 7 years deep in our existence. And I'm quite proud to say that this is a place where people don't typically leave. So I said to Layla and Natalie this morning, one of the things that I kind of giggle about is that we do this webinar because we want people to know how great we are, should the opportunity arise for someone to join us. We don't get many people that get that opportunity to join us. This past year, we only had three new teachers. And it's a really great thing to say about a staff when people want to stay. It's a commentary on the place that we live and work in. I've spent 7 years of my life here. My family has grown up overseas. My daughters are now off, and one is working in education in Canada, and the other one's halfway through her university life. But they grew up as third culture children, and in a place like Nanjing that one of my daughters still considers, part of that message or that label of home. So that messaging I start with very intentionally, because we do feel that this place is important because of how we operate and how we go about supporting the children that are in our care. It's a real blessing to be an international educator. It's a real blessing to actually be in a place where, you feel as though the things you're doing are right for the people that you're in charge of caring for. So I get the wonderful honor to be the head of this school, but at the same time, I'm only one part of it. I was speaking to somebody last night, and I'm very careful about the words I choose to use when I represent this school. And oftentimes you hear people talk about their teachers or their mandate. I use the my possessive often when the teachers that I'm surrounded with are not in the room with me, but I'll never take them away from being the individuals on this campus. So when you get a chance to listen to Sean or Tristan or Emma or Kaori about what they do here, I've asked them to speak from the heart and speak honestly. And I think that's one of the things that is very special about Nanjing. We do get these incredible results. Our students go to awesome colleges. But you're not going to hear me talk about those numbers because those aren't important to me. I'm not going to shy away from what we do and how hard our students work and how challenging it is for our students to migrate this process. But at the end of the day, when I talk about our graduates, I want to talk about the students themselves. I want to talk about who they are and what they represent. And when you look at these photos on the screen, I much rather see myself wearing a ball gown that is something that looks like I was in Alice in Wonderland than the person that you see on the screen that's wearing the suit. It's important that we are really great at what we're doing. And if you're looking at jumping into the international teaching field, I think it's really important for people to realize that to be a nighthawk in Nanjing, which is our mascot, you need to be a special person. You need to be a person that is really, really focused on being the best possible teacher you can be for the students in your classroom, not in spite of them. We talk about subject experts here. We talk about how people are passionate about their subject, and I think that's fantastic. But I'm really particular about people joining us being passionate about teaching kids. I really do believe, and our head of division on the primary side has really pushed something this year in that, students learn most from the people they like. So teachers that they like are actually the ones that they learn the most from. And people can argue with me on that one, and I'm happy to hear those arguments, but that is something I would believe in. I think it's really important that you resonate with the community that you're a part of. So as a student, I hope that my students feel as though the teachers that we've surrounded them with are people they enjoy going to class with. At the same time, our parents invest a lot of money for their students to be here. So I really hope that they embrace that relationship with the teachers. And at the same time, I've said it at least a dozen times, and I know I've said it on numerous webinars over the years. I really want people to love being who they are while they're here. I don't want them to be someone else. I don't want performance art. I want you to embrace being the great individual that we bring on board to be a part of this community. So when I look at the screen and you see just a front photo of our campus, this campus was built in 2019. It is a very academically feeling campus. It's very wide open, but at the same time, it is a place that we call home. And what you're seeing there is one of our dormitory buildings on the left, our student services building kind of between them, and then our middle school building on the right, with the high school building off in the far right. This is a great place. It is just a wonderful place to exist, and a place where a lot of great learning goes on. But at the same time, this is not an 8:30 to 3:30 place. This is not a place where people wander onto the campus when they're supposed to show up for work and leave when the bell rings. This is a place where both teachers and students, at the end of the day, oftentimes I feel we have to shove them off the campus. It's time to go home. It's time to go and shut down for a while. This is a really great place in that our students, our teachers, and our parents want to be here, not because they have to, but because they want to. So when we look at our campus and what we've done, you'll see some of the photos on the screen. I'll highlight for the fact that you don't see a lot of pictures here other than the one of Mr. Mellits down in the bottom middle, of just what I would say is traditional classroom experience. And even in that, you're not seeing desks just in rows and PowerPoints on the screen. You're seeing Fall House down on the bottom right, which is one of our houses. We have our seasons. I think I have at least one Fall House member here in the room. We have fall, spring, summer, and winter, and they are very proud of that. Mr. Jarrett, who is in the top left corner there wearing a red cape, is known as the captain of Fall House, and he's about as boisterous about that as he possibly can be. And our students do great things in the lab. They get great AP scores, but at the same time, they're performing on the stage. They're listening to our teachers perform on various aspects of life. And it's not just from, our classes starting at 8 in the morning. Our boarding program goes through 5 nights a week. And a lot of our students live here and call this part of their home. I think it's really vital that people understand that jumping into international education is a life. When I look at the campus, I visually see this every day when I walk onto our campus, but I actually will say to myself almost every day, I'm kind of happy to be here today. And I know that sounds corny and it sounds cliched, but I actually do enjoy coming to work. The people in the room will resonate with me one way or another. I am a very high energy person. I'm a very extroverted person. I'm a very outspoken person, but I don't hide my enthusiasm for this place. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself, is that when you walk into a career path that really does resonate with your heart and your soul. And I'm not a very religious person, but that's the type of words I use to describe this place. It's not just a building. It is a community. It's a culture that we've built up that we are very proud of. There is a wall around our campus. China's got its own version of a Great Wall. Our wall's pretty good. It does keep our community very tightly knit. And then when you move on and you see the next slide, what you'll see is some photos of the campus. Um, these are buildings. I actually really like this slide because it's missing one really great part and the greatest part of our campus. So I can talk about the auditorium or the pool or the sports fields, and we've got a brand new gymnasium on the campus. We have a double gymnasium that was just built this summer. What you don't see in this photo is the people. Basis International School Nanjing is best at what it does because of the people that are here. So when you look at this campus and you see the theater, I don't think of the number of seats there or the fact that we expanded the stage last summer. I think of last spring where we had the production of Bring It On, and we had dozens and dozens of students. One of the teachers in the room today, his daughter was on the stage for this production. We had two casts for this production. Sarah did an incredible job as our chair of fine arts and really pushed this out as an opportunity for our students to develop real voice. And when we talk about developing literacy in education, I don't think there's much better opportunity than having students on stage or having students participate in a sports team. These are the parts that are wonderful. When I look at the top right photo and I see that pre-K2 classroom, that is where one of, again, another one of the same gentleman's daughters exists on a day-to-day basis. The great things that happen in early years are happening because Wendy and Tiana and those teachers are in that class with those kids. So again, I saw the slide switch there, and we'll move forward to the next slide. We are a really blessed campus in terms of facilities. Middle bottom is the picture of the photo of our brand new gymnasium. I am very proud of this. I am not only the head of school, one of my favorite roles that I serve is I'm still coaching basketball. So I've jumped back in and I'm coaching basketball every Friday morning right now in this gymnasium. And for me, this is something that is the best part of my Friday. And again, these photos are great. So it gives you a sense of what this school might look like, whether it's the boarding or some of our lounge space or the park that's literally just down the road from our school. But what you don't see there are the kids. You don't see the teachers. You are looking at something that represents kind of the framework around us. So as we continue to grow, I think it's important to recognize this. And I'll get to whoever, if it was Natalie or Layla, to switch the slide, because the next photo really does kind of start to embrace some of the energy. This is it. Yesterday, I got asked a question, and I was interviewing a person, and they said, "What's the thing that parents love most about Basis International School Nanjing? What's the thing that resonates with them most? What's the measured?" And I think they used the word KPI, which kind of made me cringe when I heard it. But what's that area of measurable that is what makes it the best? Honestly, it's our teachers. And I say this with all honesty, and I'm not crossing my fingers, and I won't cross my eyes, and I will keep them open when I say this. When I look at this photo and I see Chris and Tiana and Nicole and Stephen and Azam and Selena, like, these are people, real people who love doing their job, who love being the person that they are and work really hard at making the experience the best possible thing they can for these kids. When I was asking the four wonderful people in the room with me to speak on behalf of this faculty to, a webinar full of people we can't see or don't know who or where they are, it's important that they're real and honest. So, Sean and Tristan coach together. They coach soccer. Kiori is a person that I've had the pleasure of co-teaching with when I worked in the grade 5 science. Emma and I've worked together through numerous HR pitfalls and challenges and wonderful successes over the years. They're real. So when you look at these photos, I can tell you anecdotes about each and every one of them, but I will point out the fact that you look at these photos, and these, as much as they were taken by a person with a camera, you can see there's very little staging. And even when there's an attempt to stage, people go off piste. People feel comfortable in their skin here. I can tell you how great it is to teach kids at an AP level that are going to go off to Cornell and Northwestern and Chicago and all of these wonderful places. But I think it's more important that you go to a place where you feel as though the students in your class are kids that you can love teaching. So when I look at Selena and Azam getting ready to, I think, have a piece of sodium explode in front of the students, it's a lesson in where the periodic table is and the trends that exist in terms of reactivity, sure. And AP chemistry scores are, based on somebody's ability to migrate this knowledge, but the experience is what they're going to walk away and remember. I'll leave it with this anecdote before I pass on to somebody who's going to be much more eloquent talking about being a teacher at the school. You don't need to remember the grade you got in AP chemistry. I used to joke with my daughter and say, when she would get stressed in high school about what was going on, and I would say, well, ask me what I got in AP chemistry back 30 years ago. And now I guarantee you she'd turn around and go, I know, it doesn't matter because it didn't matter. And I'm telling her that it's important that we embrace the experience. So when you look at the color run, or when you look at teachers welcoming students into the front door of the school, or you see us delivering flowers on International Women's Day, or you see us hugging our cartoonish nighthawk that is our mascot, these are real experiences with real people. So when and if you do decide to make the jump into international teaching, I do really encourage people to make sure it's going to a place where you feel like you are able to be the best possible version of yourself. I know that many people are credentialed, and I know many people are quite capable of being teachers. I think it's really important that when you do go and make that jump, that the place that you go is the right place for you. I know that the people I am working with, I am blessed to be calling colleagues, but I make for sure that the people that we add to our community are right for us. But I do really think it's important that it's right for the person to join as well. So I will leave it at that, Natalie and Layla, and I will transition probably with an awkward segue to Sean. And I will say that Sean's name, and that's my fault, should be spelled Crelley. But Mr. Crowley is much more strong than that. So anyways, I want to pass over to Sean and let Sean talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be a teacher here.
Hello, good morning from Nanjing. To be a teacher in Nanjing, I think we are pretty fortunate that we have a lot of motivated and high-achieving students. A lot of that comes down to the teachers, but also there's a strong parent kind of background and foundation that help to support their kids and motivate their kids to achieve more and want more. Don't get me wrong, it's not always perfect. Some days there can be days where you think, oh gosh, what happened, or how could I improve this, or was it just they were too excited because they've got the collar run coming up? But on the whole, it's a great experience. I mean, this morning I was given gifts already. I've already had tea and other small little gifts for Teachers' Day. So days like this really make it special for you. And I think that's all I can really say about the students, because they are just great to have. And I'm going to invite my coach, my fellow coach, to join me.
Hopefully we both, okay, we're both there. We're both visible. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, I'm Tristan Heckrell. This is my 5th year here. And yes, I can agree with Sean wholeheartedly. The kind of students that we have here are kind of an odd mix, because they are in an American school setting. So they do have some maybe characteristics that you would see in an American school, or maybe other schools around the world in the Western educational sphere. But then they also have what is maybe stereotypical, but I think is fair, a very strict, regimented sense of how education should be. And a lot of that comes from the culture, but it also comes from the parents. And then that trickles down to the kids as well. So as Dr. Davis mentioned earlier, teachers and students often get here much earlier than they need to be, than they need to get here. And they often leave much later than they need to stay. And that could be for academic purposes. They're doing student hour, they're attending clubs, they're running clubs, or they're doing sports practices after school. But yeah, kids, they get here 7:30. Many of them leave probably 5:30, 6, maybe even 6:30 if they're in
especially soccer practice.
Yes, if they're in a practice with us, they're finishing at 6:30. but yes, it's actually a very kind of refreshing mix of educational culture with the kids because they do have sometimes a sense of kind of laid back calm to their educational approach. But then when it's time to really turn it on, when exams are coming, when it's the end of a quarter, when it's the end of the year, they really put in a huge amount of effort. And for me personally, I haven't taught in that many different places, but Chinese students have been the hardest working ones that I have worked with.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think another part that we're going to talk about is just having our kids in the school as well. And I've got a very young child. He's in kindergarten right now. He was in pre-K1 and pre-K2. So he's had 3 years so far, and the teachers have been wonderful. He's excelled. He is very good at reading now. And I think one of the things that he remembers most is just the different events that we have, like the color run this Friday. He's super excited and pumped for. How about you with?
Yeah, I've got two kids in the school. I have a grade 7 daughter and I have a daughter in PK2, the second year of the kindergarten process. And my grade 7 daughter, she started here when she was in 3rd grade, and she's actually my stepdaughter. So she came into the school with very little English. But just kind of in summary, at this point now, she's not native speaking necessarily, but she's highly functional, highly conversational in English. She can get through complex schoolwork that even a native speaker like myself might have struggled with in middle school, right? So she's really come a long way, and of course that's on the backs and on the efforts of all the teachers that she's dealt with over the past 4 years. And then my daughter in PK2, it's only her second year of formal school, but almost literally every day when she comes home, she will not just tell us what happened, but she'll copy the mannerisms of her teachers. She'll tell me all about the rules of the classroom. And it's like, thank you for telling me. Next time I'm in the classroom, I'll make sure to follow the rules with you. But yeah, it's just these very detailed little anecdotes from almost every single day. And it lets you know the excitement that she has for school is really genuine, right? She wakes up in the morning, she's ready to go. At the end of the day, she's already talking about what tomorrow is going to bring. So yeah, both of my kids are really happy here and doing really well so far.
Talking to the different members of staff, and if you have any issues or want any support or help, they're very much open to any suggestions or offering any advice. So it's a very open, honest dialogue that we have.
All right, hi, this is Kaori. This is my 3rd year being an LET in Basis Nanjing, and also this is my hometown. If you're really interested in food or any culture stuff, Nanjing will offer something to you. And I went to different places for teaching, and finally I chose to go back to Nanjing because I think here we offer a really good opportunity for people around the world, and also every day is kind of different. Especially like Mr. Kweli said, today is Teachers' Day in China, and we've received lots of treats or flowers from our students. And also the parents, they're really appreciated about what we did for the kids. So I want to show you something real quick. So here is a handwritten note from my parent last week. So yes, week 3, I received a thank you letter, and I know it's really impressed because they put it in a handwriting. It's a handwriting note, so it's kind of old-fashioned kind, I noticed. And it reminds me when I in primary school, my teacher did the same thing. So I truly feel that everything that we did, the parents, they are really valued. And also, I was a LET in current grade 5, and I taught grade 5 for, and I think it is the 3rd year. And last year, I'm really lucky enough to have Dr. Davis join my class teaching their science. And we are not just letting them, learning science stuff, all the concepts, all the equations, formulas in the classroom. Often we're gonna bring them outside, let them do the fun activity at the field. As you remember what we did last year, the human soccer ball. kids are really into that. Every single time this year they saw me, because now they're in the middle school, they still remember how much fun we have from last year. And also I feel really needed by the students. I mean, grade 5 is a really important transition year in primary school, and we need to help them get ready from primary to middle school. So my job mainly focuses on the my job focus on teaching. So my role in the classroom focuses on the academic support, but I aim to help them develop their identities and help them develop their social emotional learning skills. Because I realize that not every student grows up in a family context with unconditional love or support. So sometimes we serve as their safe or even only listeners, and this is where magic can happen. So we need to embrace the culture, embrace the students who come from different families. And I'm really, but to be honest, to be in the LET in Faces 90 sometimes is frustrated, you know. A day could be an endless long, but I'm so lucky to have LET teams and SET teams. They always come and check in. We give constructive feedback all the time. I think we are creating a great example for our students. Collaboration matters. It's really important. So every moment is teachable. So I really enjoy the job here, and welcome to Nanjing if you can have a chance to join us in the future.
Hi. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Emma and I'm the HR at Business International Nanjing. I'm honored to be a member of a very strong operations team who work very hard every day to make sure that our school is a very great place for our teachers and our students to be in. I work specifically as an HR specialist for Aspects. One of my main job focus every day is to make sure that our expat teachers and their dependents have a valid working visa or valid visa to stay in China. And we appreciate that our expat teachers, they move across the country to work in our school to help our students thrive. And so we do our best to make sure our teachers have a life as easy as possible regarding their life, regarding their settling in a new environment, and regarding visa assistance. Once you accept our offer, you are considered one of our team, and the support will start from there. Visa application can be sometimes frustrating. It's not a very easy process with a lot of paperwork that a lot of teachers might be frustrated about, especially when they come to China for the first time in their life. But don't worry, we will help you from step by step, and accepting. Once you're part of accept our offer, you're considered one of the team member, and we will support you step by step through visa application. It's not sending you a link of a website, sending you a checklist that you need to make sure that you finish all these lists by the end of June, and then, okay, we'll hear from you there. We will check with you at a regular basis, and we will guide you through what you need to prepare, what you need to apply for, and we will also support you remotely from China to make sure that you have the final visa to come to China. And of course, if you have family members who are coming with you, we will help them as well. And after you have the valid visa, we will prepare the flights and airport pickup for you, and to make sure that you are with someone that you are familiar with, and when you are moving to a new country, you have someone to accompany you by the time that you get off the plane. And regarding housing preparations, before you come to China, we will help you find your perfect apartment, depending on how many family members you're having to come with you. And we will prepare the house. It's a fully furnished housing to make sure that you have a bed to live in and some food and grocery to enjoy on your first day arriving here if you don't have time to shop for your new house. And we will pick you up from the airport and then drive you directly to your new place and make sure that you are comfortable in the new environment. And then we will help you set up your phone account, your bank account, and all your other logistics, living necessities to make sure that you are fully prepared for starting a new chapter of your life in Nanjing. And so these are the main things that I want to talk about regarding how we can support you, specifically from the human resources perspective. And at last, I want to say Happy Teachers' Day to all our teachers. Thank you.
Layla, thanks for giving us an opportunity to just kind of talk to you guys a bit about some of the things that are important to us. I always feel frustrated or worried for Layla and Natalie because Nanjing is not on piste. We're off piste. I'm proud of that. In that one of the things that traditionally we'll talk about is training and PD and these things. But I'm really always quite contented with the fact that my team, and again, apologies to using the possessives, but they're very proud of talking about who we are. And the more we prioritize that is great. We have incredible on-site training and professional development opportunities, and our opportunities to interact with Summer Institute are great opportunities for learning and network collaboration and all of those things. But at the end of the day, Nanjing is what Nanjing is because of the people that live and work and exist here. The pride with which we do things is centered on those people that we work with. So apologies if we didn't touch on something, Layla, but that's our Nanjing attempt.
That's perfect. No, and I was also going to say that Emma is a bit too humble at how much she actually does for teachers, her and the HR team over there. I lived abroad for many years, and I will say that they are bar none some of the best people you ever work with, and so helpful, and it just makes the whole process smooth. So thank you everyone so much for speaking to all those great parts, especially about your family and the lovely handwritten notes. I'm sure that was just so warm and fuzzy inside. So what I'll do now before we go to kind of the end Q&A that you guys might have, I see some questions actually already popping in, which is fantastic. Keep them coming. What I'm going to do is just briefly talk about BASIS International Schools as a network. Again, like I said in the beginning, when you're with BASIS, you are not just a teacher at your campus that you're working at, you're part of this greater entity with this massive mission that every campus has their own nuances and culture and differences, but as a whole we have the same mission and we're all on the same team. So just briefly a little bit about our network. We do have 16 BASIS international and bilingual schools. And BASIS, if you weren't aware, actually started in the United States, which is why I wouldn't say we're an American international school in that sense that you would normally say that, but we do have a lot of Americanisms. That's just the country that the school originated from. And by and large, the BASIS curriculum, the BASIS ways, for lack of a better word, have stayed at the core of everything that we do. It's really never changed. Sure, we keep up with the times and make little changes here and there, but BASIS has always been BASIS, and the students do not get a BASIS education without being at a BASIS school. So we're really proud of what we do. We have beautiful campuses all around China, and then we have some independent schools in the US. And then multiple charter schools in the US that we aren't necessarily affiliated with in the collective sense, but they're also part of our wider network. BASIS curriculum. So this is really important to talk about because we're a really outcome-driven school, but ultimately, how are these outcomes driven? They're driven by good teaching and good people who love to teach. We are an academically rigorous school, though, and extremely accelerated. So if you're an early years teacher and you're considering joining BASIS, this is where I'm really intentional about using the word intentional here when I say intentional play-based learning. It's not play just for the sense. It's not just a fancy, terminology that we use. There is actually real learning and beautiful learning happening. I'm a former early years teacher, so this is my happy place at any of our BASIS campuses. really great time for these kids to build the foundation of themselves, start to learn who they are, how they learn, and embody that love of learning at that age. It was Tristan that was talking about his daughter coming and just being so excited to talk school. And you want to see that. You don't want kids going to school and then coming home and just dreading having to go back the next day. You want them to want to go back the next day. And that's something that we really do well in the ECE program. And Kate already talked about some of the primary model things. So we do have a 2-teacher model. Kaori would be in a class with the subject expert teachers. Yes, we have subject specific teachers in primary, not a homeroom model. Just because you've not worked in a non-homeroom model school before does not mean that you can't work in a basis school. We just look for teachers who have credentials or well, hopefully both credentials and passion for your subject, so that will exude through the students in the classroom. Middle school is where I like to say where the learning really happens, and I mean that in the sense of the academic rigor just kind of turns up multiple notches there. In 6th grade, students are taking pre-algebra, in some cases even algebra 1 if they test higher, in addition to biology, chemistry, and physics, plus, you know, histories, English, all their specialists, and they take those all 3 years of middle school, so that by the time they get to high school, you'll see AP in high school. They're kind of just showing off at that point, which is really fun and funny to see. But these middle school students are also highly engaged. They're middle school students, and you know, no matter what country you go to, middle school kids will always be middle school kids, but they are incredibly engaged and they do love learning as well. So you're probably not gonna be pressed for a hand raised in your class. They do like to participate and engage with the lesson. We do say that we're a very liberal arts and AP infused liberal arts school. You saw tons of wonderful pictures, and Jamie mentioned that you're not really seeing the typical traditional lecture style class happening. Which does happen, you know, really naturally. You're giving a little bit of lecture and then you go into some activities. But really, these students are engaging in the content in creative ways as well. We talked about the performances that they're doing. I mean, bring it on. It's how cool to be able to even watch that. I'm actually jealous that I wasn't able to watch that in person. They're incredibly creative students. I believe actually in Nanjing specifically, this was 2 years ago, and some of the teachers here might know the student that I'm talking about, and I apologize, I don't remember his name, but he had developed, so he loves reading, and he's probably read like every book in the library and also loves computer science. So he sees a problem where the students don't feel compelled enough to go into the library and just find a book to read. So he programmed a system for their library that encourages students and makes it more accessible for them to put in their grade level, I believe Lexile level, and then whatever something that they're interested to populate books to suggest them, just to make it easier to go to find the book. Those are some of the kids that we have. They're solving real world problems. They're combining passions for reading and for computer science to come up with these solutions, and it's really cool. And I know I said I was going to keep that short and I spoke a little long, so I'll move on. And I know Jamie might cringe a little bit at the outstanding results because he doesn't like to highlight it, but it is something to be highlighted for sure. These don't happen by accident. These results, you see 98% accepted into top 50. This is from last year. Accepted into top 50 and over 70% in top 30 universities. We got Boston University, Cambridge, Cornell, Duke, Harvard, UCLA, the Rhode Island School of Design. Even it's not just the STEMs that these kids are going into. I mentioned their creativity. This doesn't happen by accident. This happens because of the teachers at the school that some of which you've already met today. So just briefly to talk about that, it is a really impressive. These students are quite impressive. I'm gonna stop talking and turn it over to my colleague Natalie, who will tell you a little bit more about why we teach in basis, why teach in basis, and why teach in China.
Thank you, Layla. And thank you, Jamie and team over at Nanjing for welcoming us and having Layla and I come hang out and share all the wonderful things about Nanjing. So let's get started with why you might want to teach with Basis International Schools. So first, our academic culture, like Layla mentioned, is something we are super proud of here across the network. The curriculum is super rigorous and the students are challenged every single day. But I feel like what's great about this is they don't just meet those challenges, they often exceed them. Layla showed a slide about the results from last year, and I just feel like our students not only meet them, but they exceed them. It creates a culture of high achievement that's exciting for both students and our teachers. We do have a very collaborative learning environment, as Jamie mentioned earlier. A part of this network, you'll be a part of a strong professional community. Not only will you collaborate within your grade, but your subject and even across the schools in the BASIS network. You'll have a chance to learn from other educators from all over the world, which is such a rewarding experience as well. Speaking of the BASIS network, it's highly respected not only in China, but globally. Being a part of this network means that there are endless opportunities, like we've all mentioned on this webinar tonight, for professional growth. And you're never working in an isolation situation. I feel like you have the opportunity to reach out to anyone if you need any sort of help or assistance to grow in your career. And finally, like we've all been talking about, and especially Dr. Davis, our students are incredible and they are highly motivated, inquisitive, and they genuinely love learning. And teaching in this environment is truly inspiring. And Layla, we can scoot over to the next slide. Yes, so why teach in China? And I have told Layla this several times. I wish I would have done this. In my teaching career, I used to teach third grade here in the States, and I wish I would have taken the leap to teach overseas. So if you are thinking about it, I'm going to give you my spiel on why to teach in China. So education in China is highly, highly valued there. Teachers are respected in the community. Education itself is a top priority. Life in China is also very convenient and modern. Most of the things from paying bills to getting around town are done straight from your phone. Transportation is super easy and efficient. Subways are clean. You have apps like Didi, which is a China version of Uber, making things easy and fast and affordable to get around. China is also a fantastic place to experience new culture. It's a unique blend of deep history, modern innovation. You can explore ancient landmarks, local festivals, incredible food. And I will say I did have the pleasure of visiting Nanjing's campus myself and several others. I would like to shout out Nanjing's cafeteria. Their food was bar none my favorite. And because of China's central location, weekend trips to other parts of Asia like Japan, Thailand, Vietnam are very doable as well. And last but not least, the thing that I feel like I get the most questions about from a moving perspective is the cost of living. So the cost of living in China is very reasonable, even in the big cities. Many teachers are able to save a significant portion of their salary while living comfortably, which is a massive benefit. And if you decide to join our wonderful network, we do offer a great expat package. So first, we can cover travel benefits, including flights to and from China at the start and at the end of your contract, plus like Emma mentioned, our airport pickup. We do an annual return to home allowance as well. So if you want to go home for the summer, we take care of that too. Next, health and tuition benefits are provided, ensuring you and your dependents are taken care of. So global health coverage, including the United States, covers you everywhere. Your tuition is covered for your children, and of course, breakfast and lunch at school as well. And like Emma mentioned, we also handle housing. So your accommodations are prepared before you arrive. Our HR team, like Layla and everyone has mentioned, is phenomenal to work with. They will get you set up with everything from a bank account to resident permits. They want you to feel truly comfortable and ready to succeed straight from day one. And lastly, we do offer retirement plans and bonuses, giving you additional financial security while you work with us. So there's a 10% retirement benefit, a completion bonus, and additional bonus opportunities as well. Now, you might be wondering, what are the requirements to teach in BASIS? These are the questions as a recruiter I do get asked often. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and Layla and I can answer those as we go. So degree in your subject. So we do require a degree in your subject of expertise. Now, what does that mean? That means if you're teaching physics or math in the high school, middle school level, we do want to see that strong foundation in what you're teaching. Elementary education, a bachelor's in that, a master's, of course, is welcome. We do ask that, you do come with that degree that requires your subject of expertise. Teaching experience, we do require a minimum of 2 full years of teaching. You should be a teacher of record, someone who has led a classroom and guided students independently. And again, like we've all said, the teachers are what makes this school run. And we are looking for those educators who are passionate about teaching, passionate and committed to helping students reach their potential, engaging the young minds starting at the ECE level, and inspiring a love of learning is truly at the heart of what BASIS does. Collaboration, we've mentioned, is huge and key to BASIS. Teachers across the network work with grades and subjects and even different campuses. One highlight I'd like to mention is our Summer Institute. It's an amazing week-long collaborative training for our new teachers to come and meet people and to dive deeper into what BASIS in the network actually is and how we are set up for success. It was amazing to see the dedication of our teachers and how everybody truly helps every person to succeed. The network is an amazing place, and it's really great for educators to grow. We do have high academic standards, like we've mentioned. We need teachers who are willing to work hard and elevate their colleagues and contribute to that culture of excellence. So if you come from a really rigorous background, that's going to be something that we definitely look for. If you're looking to contribute to push yourself further, that's also something we want to look for. We are constantly wanting to elevate our growth in the education world and get you better at your craft. So adaptability and engagement, teachers must be able to engage students of varying abilities, differentiating instruction and adapting to a diverse classroom environment. And then visa considerations. So there are some visa restrictions, and this is one of our most asked questions. It does change sometimes without notice. It can vary from role to role and sometimes change from year to year, and even without much notice. But because of this, we do rely heavily on our HR department to provide us with the most update guidance so that we can advise you accurately regarding any eligibility and next steps. So what is it like to work for BASIS International Schools? I have not had the pleasure of working for an actual BASIS school, but I have had the experience of talking with teachers personally one-on-one, and I can say it is truly an incredible place. When it comes to working at BASIS, there are just a few things to keep in mind. So most of our students are local Chinese students, and English is their second language. So differentiating your teaching is vital. Flexibility is also key. We have a strong systems in place, but we adapt as needed to ensure the best experience for students and teachers. Like everyone has said, that is at the heart of what we do. And if you're bringing accompanying students, so if you are a parent that is bringing your child as a student, we do ask that they should be ready for the rigorous program of a BASIS education. It does start at a young age. Our teachers that are bringing children a heads up on that in the rigorous program. Overall, I would say it's super supportive, high achieving, and a collaborative environment where you can grow professionally, all while living in such an incredible country, and especially Nanjing. So thank you guys so much for letting me speak, and I look forward to working with you all, and I'll turn it back over to Layla.
Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate it a lot. Okay, so before we hop over to Q&A, if you're looking for a position, I know Jamie mentioned that people don't really leave Nanjing. However, they might have a couple positions this year, just through, natural evolution of school. So not so many positions this year. However, we will have some, and we encourage you to apply. If we don't have a position posted for a specific subject, we do have a future opportunities job posting, essentially, where you can just drop your name in, and we'll definitely review and reach out to you for future opportunities with this campus. So there's our career site. We have social media. Please follow us. We do put all kinds of really cool things out there that the schools are doing. We have a blogs page, a blogs website, essentially, that we're talking about the activities of the school, the stories of the teachers. Some of them are actual blogs written by the teachers themselves talking about their life in China, the cool places that they get to travel. My favorite blog every year is the travel blog, where I get to see what cool things the teachers were doing over their summer break. There's quite a few blogs about Nanjing campus specifically. So I encourage you to go over there and read a little bit and maybe go down the rabbit hole and see what kind of other cool things are on there. And then if you join our talent community, this kind of goes back to applying for jobs. If you join our talent community, you'll actually get email alerts when a job opens specific to your subject. So if you go to our homepage and you scroll down, it says join our talent community, and I highly encourage you to do that. Now I am going to invite everybody back. If some of you want to maybe gather around the screen there or shout it from behind the screen. But we'll bring everybody back to talk a little bit about Q&A.
I'm just terrible with technology. I clicked on the wrong place. My apologies. And I was making jokes in the background as you guys were talking. So sorry about that.
No worries. The one thing that so before I think we're going to have some questions popping in a bit. We have some already. So while we're collecting those, I have a question. What is, and this is for anyone and everyone who wants to participate in this, but what is your favorite thing to do in Nanjing? Either regularly, something that you do normally, or like a really cool thing, an attraction that you guys like to do?
So I'm going to let the teachers answer, but I will say this. One of the things when I worked in the Middle East, I wanted to go to a place where I know that my wife and I could walk for coffee. Nanjing is super walkable. It is super green. I mean, this is a tiny city of 9.5 million people. And yet we're in a university district, which is super green, super lush. And Sunday mornings, my wife and I will get up at ungodly hours because we're old and we just wake up at really bad times and have our nice cup of coffee. 6 o'clock in the morning, we will walk. And then around 7:30, when the coffee shop opens, we'll sit beside a lake and have a cup of coffee. This is such a great city to exist outdoors in. So that's my answer. And I will shift over to Sean. He's got an answer.
And for me, I like to be outdoors. And as you said, it's a green place. I regularly go hiking up on Purple Mountain with my kid, and also some of the other basis kids. And also, I play a lot of golf. So I play screen golf. So it's a big computer screen. You take your own clubs and have at it, basically. And it's great fun. We've got quite a few members of the basis faculty in a big basis BGA league that we have, the Basis Golf Association. And it's fantastic. It's good fun. And we've got restaurants, bars. So if you want to have a beer in the sunshine, it's perfect. I'll hand it over to Tristan if you can add on.
Sure. This is it. I have things to say.
There's also not a question in here, but it's a comment that I was going to share. Is my family and I stayed in Nanjing this past June. It's a nice city. Thanks for sharing the information. So other people out there agree.
Yeah, and it's Tristan again. Hi. I have a family too, and yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, it's a really good place for a family. It's a good place to be single as well, although I haven't been single in Nanjing. But I know that those members of our staff who are, they find ways to enjoy their weekends and their holidays. Yeah, for me personally, I play soccer every weekend. I have a Chinese team that I play with. There's also a group of expats that kind of play mix and match kind of games every weekend. We have other teachers at our school who play basketball throughout the week or on the weekends. We have, of course, people who play golf. So yeah, there's sport opportunities. That's the kind of thing that I look for personally. And it's already been mentioned as well, but I'll reiterate the scenery and the landscape here are really wonderful. In particular, the area that we're in, which is maybe 20, 25 minutes outside of downtown. But it's a new area. It's very modern. The infrastructure is great. Facilities are great. There are parks all over the place. There are the way that the roads are set up makes it very safe for running, for biking, whatever. And then just China in general is a quick, convenient flight to a lot of places that you would want to visit in Asia. So whether you're just in Nanjing itself or traveling throughout China or traveling throughout kind of East Asia, there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of experiences to be had. I really enjoy it.
I would segue off of what Tristan's saying and just mention the fact that one of the things that we're really good at here in Nanjing is making sure that people that are joining us are connected with somebody that has similar interests and similar kind of outlooks on things. So Tristan and Sean are raising young families. Kiori is much younger than most of us, and as local. The idea of answering questions that people have when we get hires is that they get the answers from the people that are most able to answer those questions. My wife retired last year, But at the same time, we've hired some people that have similar, outlooks to life. And my wife has answered questions for them. When people ask me, I'm single and I'm interested in what's going on in a single life, as a 50-something-year-old man who never sleeps, beyond 4:35 in the morning or doesn't go to bed any later than 9 o'clock. I don't have outlooks on the single life in Nanjing, but we do have people that have a social life that is much more reflective of younger folks. So we're really embracing the idea that sometimes the best answer we can provide is not by my voice or the head of division's voice or even the math teacher's voice. So it's a really great place for that.
And I should, just as one more thing to mention, we do have probably, I would say 10 to 12, 8 to 10 families here at the school. And we do stuff often together on weekends. So if you are someone who has a family, you are kind of immediately welcomed into that community. Yeah, we do stuff outside, we do stuff inside, depending on weather or whatever. But yeah, most of us have younger kids. So we're always looking for stuff to do together. And, like I said, any family that comes along and joins us in any school year is immediately welcomed into that environment, that nice family atmosphere. It's really good.
Thank you, guys. And then I have one comment that I wanted to share. This is the kind of thing I need. Everything seems lovely, well organized, but that plus soccer. If there's a soccer community, that's great. I hope one day I can be part of the PE team at your school. So, I definitely got a soccer pitch, that's for sure. And then the last question that I had before we let you guys go is if you can tell us a little bit more about the house system in Nanjing and how that is maybe different from a school that doesn't have the house system. What kinds of things do you do?
No, so I watched Emma was ready to jump out of her chair because it was like the housing. Okay, I'll talk about the housing. And you mean the house system?
House system.
Yeah, so picture Harry Potter without the robes and the brooms. We have created a social point system across the school where we have winter house, spring house, summer house, and fall house. Every member of faculty, every student, every member of our operational side should be attached to a house. I'm the only one that's not. So I'm not in a house, but everybody is competing. So recently we had a tug of war competition where our parents were on campus and early years through grade 12 had a tug of war competition, and they were basically disseminated by houses, and we had a competition. We have house points that are given away, and we collect them in giant tubes in the cafeteria where kids take these coins, and when they are doing something that a teacher wants to recognize, they get a house point. And then we have these quarterly house point cup competitions, and they have basically a huge trophy that gets given to the winning house at the end of every quarter. It is a little bit of the filler in between the bricks of what we do. It is within us the idea that we can have friendly competition and friendly support. We're asking our houses to think about how they contribute to the community each quarter. So right now we are coming to the end of summertime. Nanjing gets quite warm in the summer. So our house captain for summer this year is Tiana. She's a pre-K2 teacher. Our fall house captain, I've already mentioned, is Will Jarrett. He's been with us for 7 years, and fall will start doing things now that we're coming into the fall season. Who's our winter house captain? Oh, that's Mr. Mellitz, again, another member of founding faculty, a geography teacher. And then our spring house captain is Jaff, who is our primary chair of humanities. So it is a way for our students and teachers to kind of compete and have a little bit of house spirit. It's like intramurals on steroids, where there is lots of things going on, whether it's wearing their house colors on a Friday, so they all wear their red, blue, yellow, or green, whether it's competing in a competition over art, or whether it's a competition over face painting. Like there's lots of things that go on. So everything has a little bit of a house theme to it. And it's very much just the filler in between a lot of the other things that we do. We're proudly Nighthawks. You'll see the Nighthawk label on everything we do. It's no more, it's not downplaying that, but at the same time, I think that sometimes fall house or winter house or spring house or summer house, they might feel even more attached to that than they do just the campus. So it's a way in which we do things beyond just the academics.
And that's it for the questions that we have. Really appreciate you joining and talking about your school, where you work, where you live. This is, I'm sure it'll resonate with the wider community, and I really appreciate you being here with us today. And then to the audience that's joining us, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. I don't know if Jamie wanted to say one last thing.
Sure. I mean, I wish everybody luck with their journeys. I think if you do get and I apologize for repeating the word, but if you get the blessing of joining a Nighthawk community, then you get to be a part of something that's fantastic. I do encourage anybody that jumps overseas, make sure that you know the people you're working with. At this stage of life, I've learned a lot of lessons, and one of the things is that you only get to go through it one shot, and you should make sure that the people that you are with value who you are and what you do and how you do it. So make sure that when you do get an opportunity to interview for these posts and you get that question portion of an interview, it's important that you ask questions that are apparently important to you. At the end of the day, which I say a lot, I know it's important that the people that we choose to bring on board are the right people for us. But at the end of the day, it's really important that you choose a place that's right for you. So I wish you all luck. I thank you all for attending and listening to us. And I'm already enjoying the school year and look forward to what's ahead.
Great. Awesome. Thank you guys so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
And again, the audience, thank you for joining. We're so happy to have you here and grateful for you listening. And again, we can't wait to talk to you. Submit your application and we're excited to meet you.